After 40 years on the market, Klondike is discontinuing its Choco Tacos.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most iconic, nostalgic, and delicious snacks that are no longer made. Whether sweet or salty, junk food or sugary drink, it's all fair game for this list.
New Jello 1, 2, 3. The only dessert that tops itself.
Number 50, Fruit String Thing.
You can do a down thing, and off the ground thing, a tug-of-war thing, and eat some more thing.
How could a kid not like fruity spaghetti? Whether you preferred strawberry, cherry, or berry and blue, Fruit String Thing was a classic school lunch and after-school snack for 90s kids. And its appeal stretched beyond just taste. There was something distinctly satisfying about pulling a piece out of the pouch, watching its tangy goodness extend to great lengths, and twisting and bending it into different shapes. Unfortunately, the snack didn't make it through the 2000s. Whether its discontinuation was nutrition-related or competition-related or both, what we do know is that Fruit String Thing made its mark on many childhoods.
Fruit String Thing!
Brand new, way better. Fruit String Thing. It's a whole new thing.
Number 49, Girl Scout Juliet's. Juliet Gordon Low founded Girl Scouts of the USA in 1912. Decades and even a century plus later, many people have come to associate the organization with cookies. There have been a lot of Girl Scout cookies over the years, so it's easy to forget some, particularly the discontinued varieties. But what we want to know is how they could discontinue a cookie named after the woman who founded the organization. Yeah, that happened. Between 1993 and 1996, you could get your hands on a box of Juliet's, caramel and pecan clusters covered in a chocolate coating. Sounds good, right? Well, not good enough to keep around, apparently. Number 48, Surge.
Surge. It's a fully loaded citrus soda with carbos. Beat the rush.
The Coca-Cola Company released this citrus-flavored soda in the United States in 1997, but it didn't experience the surge in popularity the company was hoping for. Production was halted in 2003, but that wasn't the last we'd hear from Surge. Its departure from store refrigerators led to fan petitions and a popular Facebook group dedicated to bringing the drink back. Maybe those calls to Coca-Cola's Consumer Affairs hotline actually worked, because Surge briefly returned to convenience stores in the eastern U.S. in 2015, and later became available at Burger King in 2018.
The taste and formula of Surge these fans have been craving for years remains the same.
Let's do it. Here we go to Surge.
During the 2010s, BK, Valero corner stores, and Cinemark theaters even released limited-time slushy versions of the drink. But shortly after, Surge vanished back into the shadows of soda history.
Surge. Life's a scream.
Number 47, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Pies.
Their minds are delicious, you know that's true, because they're filled with mutagen goo. That's vanilla pudding goo.
These limited-time treats were true to their name in all their green glory. Released in 1991 by Hostess, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pies may not have looked like something you should eat, but that didn't stop people from enjoying them while they could. Inside the deep-fried green frosted crust lay sweet vanilla pudding.
Oh no! They did it again! Michelangelo, stay right there! Bon appetit!
Also inside each nostalgic package featuring a picture of a Ninja Turtle, you could find a trading card or sticker to go along with your treat. If you loved these fun little pies anywhere near as much as Michelangelo loves pizza, you were probably pretty bummed when Hostess stopped making them within the year.
What do you got there?
1991's delicious cream-filled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pies, fresh from the sewers to me.
Are they made from real turtle?
Probably.
Number 46, Apple Newtons. Fig Newtons were invented in the 1890s. Over the years, Nabisco has gone on to test the waters outside of the original Fig Newtons by introducing multiple variations of their soft, chewy, and fruity cookies. One of those was Apple Newtons, which came out in 1992. But by 2012, when the product name was changed to simply Newtons, dropping the fig, the apple flavor was no longer available. Raspberry and strawberry got to stick around, so why not apple? Nabisco rolled out a baked apple and cinnamon flavor, but they just don't hit the same. Number 45, Keebler Merry Mint Patties. The Keebler elves, as they're known to do, really got into the holiday spirit with Merry Mint Patties. These chocolate-covered shortbread cookies, decorated with green squiggles on the outside and filled with mint-flavored cream, didn't stick around for as many holiday seasons as fans might have hoped. While Keebler Fudge Mint Delights still offer a minty option from the famous cookie company, their texture and flavor are noticeably different, and the appearance is far less festive and far more basic than that of the Merry Mint patties. Still, who knows? As another holiday season approaches, maybe the Keebler elves will decide to dust off an old recipe. Number 44. Pop-Tarts Pastry Swirls.
You think I was born yesterday? Out of the car.
New Pop-Tarts Pastry Swirls.
During the 1990s, Pillsbury's toaster strudels welcomed a competitor to the playing field in the form of Kellogg's Pop-Tarts Pastry Swirls, which were bigger, thicker, and fluffier than regular Pop-Tarts. Oh yeah, and like the standard Pop-Tarts, no freezer or refrigerator necessary. Pop-Tarts Pastry Swirls offered a more classic, authentic pastry vibe, coming in flavors like cheese Danish, cheese and cherry, apple cinnamon, and strawberry. However, it was an unsuccessful experiment. Sales weren't high enough, and by the early 2000s, the product was discontinued. At least the market for regular Pop-Tarts has continued to thrive.
It's a harmonious celebration as cherries and cream cheese come together in a deliciously flaky pastry.
Number 43. Mickey's Parade Ice Pops.
But whoever saw a parade you could eat? Mickey's Parade is here.
There's no shortage of fictional character-inspired popsicles these days. Even so, it'd be nice if you could still find Good Humor's Mickey Parade Ice Pops in the freezer aisle. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case since the early 2000s. These throwback popsicles debuted in the 1980s, with boxes featuring Disney icons, cherry-flavored Mickey, grape-flavored Donald Duck, and orange-flavored Minnie and Goofy. Why were both Minnie and Goofy orange? Who knows, but on a scorching summer day, they were a great way to cool off. And while Mickey's Parade ice cream bars are also long gone, at least you can still get a taste of that chocolate and vanilla nostalgia with a Mickey Premium ice cream bar at Disney parks. Number 42. Shark Bites Fruit Snacks.
I'm hungry. I'm bored. Wow! Shark Bite! An action sub!
Any fan of gummy candies or fruit snacks will tell you it's about more than just the taste. It's also about the shape and design. Well, Betty Crocker's Shark Bites proved that. In each pouch, you'd find multiple shark species: hammerhead, mako, tiger, and great white. 90s kids know those great white sharks were something special. In 2016, the flavors were modified in an effort to eliminate artificial ingredients, but the texture, taste, and overall quality of Shark Bites suffered. While not officially discontinued, they became endangered, either removed from retail websites entirely or listed as sold out or unavailable. Even if these fruit snacks were to swim back to shore, the original Shark Bites are likely extinct for good.
You've got to eat them before they eat you.
Intense!
Number 41. Nabisco Giggles Cookies. Fudge and vanilla cream on the inside and smiley face cookies on the outside. What's not to love? Nabisco Giggles cookies made a lot of kids smile in the 80s. Whether you opted for the ones with chocolate or classic cookies on the outside, there was something alluring about having two types of cream inside.
Me, I like the two kinds of cream inside. There's vanilla and fudge in each one. They're great, right?
Not just one. And there weren't just smiley faces on the outside, there were silly faces too. Hence the kid giggling in the commercial. Maybe they weren't that funny, but they were good. Apparently not good enough to make it to the 21st century though.
New peanut butter and fudge Giggles cookies. Two kinds of cream in each funny face.
Number 40. Pepsi Blue.
Pepsi Blue, a new fusion of berry and cola.
This berry-flavored soft drink launched in 2002. Many of those who tried it considered it more sugary and syrupy than regular cola beverages, to an over-the-top extent for some. The color of Pepsi Blue certainly made it pop visually in a different way than your typical soda. But the very thing that created that appearance, Blue One Dye, was controversial. No one ever said soft drinks were supposed to be healthy, but there's a reason that ingredient is banned in some countries. Despite large-scale advertising efforts, including commercials featuring Britney Spears, Pepsi Blue didn't gain the popularity to keep it around for more than a few years. It did return briefly in 2021 for a limited time run, but that was it.
Pepsi broke the news to customers with an ad that included the throwback tune you heard just a second ago, I'm Blue by Eiffel 65.
Number 39. Wonka Donuts.
New double chocolate Wonka donuts.
They looked like donuts and even had donut in the name, but Wonka donuts weren't actually donuts. Rather, they were chocolate covered in sprinkles with a truffle-like inside. They came out in 2005 ahead of the release of the film Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. If you were lucky enough to find a golden ticket inside a Wonka Donuts pack, you would have earned a trip to Europe. Pretty cool, right?
You found Wonka's last golden ticket in my shop too.
Well, unfortunately, these treats never became anything more than a fun, edible promotional memory. Peanut butter Oompas, characterized as peanut butter and chocolatey cream in a candy coat, are even older nostalgic Wonka treats that are no longer around. But Wonka donuts had a bit more flair and uniqueness, which earns them a spot here. Number 38, Keebler Munch'ems.
Our new Keebler Munch'ems are crispy little crackers that crunch like chips.
These baked snacks were a chip cracker hybrid that came in flavors such as original, cheddar, and sour cream and onion. For chip and cracker enjoyers, Keebler Munch'ems provided a simple yet game-changing combination. Crispy, savory, and as the name suggests, perfect to munch on. You gotta respect the Keebler elves for adding a bit of pizzazz with the hexagonal shape as well. Munch'ems came out in the early 90s, but they were off shelves by the mid-2000s.
New Keebler Munch'ems.
Another cleanup aisle 5.
Chips have gone crackers.
These days, at least Cheez-It Grooves are around to scratch a similar itch in this snack niche. Number 37, Little Debbie Boston Cream Rolls. These dense, cream-filled cake rolls drizzled in chocolate were just one of many tasty, sugary snacks Little Debbie has whipped up over the years. Sadly, their days are now in the rearview. While you can still buy Boston Cream Yodels from Drake's, also owned by McKee Foods, Little Debbie's parent company, they're just not the same. The texture, ingredient composition, and flavor balance are different, in a bad way, according to many customer reviews. Plenty of fans would be thrilled to see Little Debbie's Boston Cream Rolls make a comeback after their discontinuation in 2023. Number 36, Ecto Cooler. In the late 1980s, Minute Maid rebranded their High C Citrus Cooler drink by having it join forces with Ghostbusters.
Disgusting blob. I'm gonna have to hold it myself.
While Ecto Cooler may have still had the tasty orange tangerine flavor, there was no mistaking its iconic greenness. The juice's success pleasantly exceeded expectations, sticking around even after the cancellation of the Real Ghostbusters cartoon series in 1991. In fact, it continued to run under the name Ecto Cooler until 2001. It would change names one more time 5 years later before ultimately being discontinued shortly thereafter. Ecto Cooler made a limited-time return ahead of the 2016 Ghostbusters reboot, giving fans one more taste of sweet nostalgia.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, did you want to?
Sorry. I'll let you.
Next time.
Number 35, Carnation Breakfast Bars.
New Carnation Breakfast Bar. Smooth chocolate, crispy nuts, crunchy centers.
For anyone who finds themselves in need of a quick on-the-go breakfast or a daytime snack, Carnation Breakfast Bars used to be a great choice, particularly in the 70s when the options for such a thing were not nearly as extensive as they are today. In many ways, when considering all the similar granola bars that have come out since, Carnation Breakfast Bars were ahead of their time. Relatively rich in protein and nutrients, they had the classic combination of granola, peanut butter, and chocolate, both in the form of coating and chocolate chips. People kept enjoying them throughout the 80s and into the 90s, but they disappeared from shelves before the turn of the century.
New Carnation Breakfast Bar. The instant breakfast you can get your teeth into.
Number 34, Keebler Tato Skins.
Elves know better. We use the whole potato, skins and all, to put big taste in Tato Skin snack chips.
In the 1980s, the Keebler elves took the potato chip game to uncharted territory by making use of the outer part of the potatoes. And it worked. Crunchy and flavorful, Keebler Tato Skins had all the ingredients for an addictive snack. They came in multiple varieties: sour cream and chive, cheddar and bacon, barbecue, and good old baked potato. By 2000, however, they were discontinued. Oh Boise's, a more traditional but still well-liked potato chip from Keebler, met a similar fate. These days, TGI Fridays produces its own line of potato skin chips, but they just don't carry the same nostalgic appeal. Number 33, Eggo Mini Muffin Tops. Many would agree that the top part of the muffin is the best part. Just ask Elaine Bennis.
I'll tell you, that's $1 million idea right there. Just sell the tops.
So when the famous frozen breakfast brand Eggo came out with their mini muffin tops, there was bound to be demand. They came in classic flavors like blueberry and chocolate chip, offering Eggo a chance to dominate a unique breakfast niche and expand its reputation outside of its more traditional products like waffles and pancakes.
Introducing new mini muffin tops from Eggo. We've saved the best part of the muffin, that flavorful, fluffy top, just for you.
Unfortunately for fans, mini muffin tops never became a staple, and nowadays, you won't find them at your local supermarket. Number 32, Kudos Bars.
Outrageously right, new Kudos granola snacks.
Talk about an awesome sidekick to your main course for your school lunch, and the perfect after-school snack too. In 2011, Kudos bars took iconic Mars candies like Snickers, M&Ms, and Dove and essentially infused them into granola bars. This made for a soft, crispy, chocolatey, and jaw-droppingly tasty treat. While they were in fact granola bars, in many ways, they felt like candy bars too. However, in 2017, Kudos bars were discontinued. Technically, their history dates back to well before they included those Mars candy classics. Originally released in 1986, they gained a reputation through 3 flavors: Nutty Fudge, Chocolate Chip, and Peanut Butter. All we have to say is kudos to you Kudos bars because it was a great ride.
Simply nutritious, outrageously delicious. Kudos, I'm yours.
Number 31, Little Debbie Cosmic Cupcakes.
We're going to launch Cosmic Cupcakes into space.
Cosmic Brownies are a Little Debbie classic that many people are familiar with. Now take that cosmic theme with its colorful candy-coated chocolate chips and soft chocolatey goodness and make it into a cupcake. What do you get? Well, Cosmic Cupcakes, of course. These mouth-watering treats had vanilla cream in the center as well. Just visually, you could tell that these things were out of this world. They were even launched into space one time. Sadly though, in 2017, Little Debbie posted a tweet announcing that her epic Cosmic Cupcakes were being discontinued. Hopefully someday they'll return to our world. Number 30, Hostess Chocodiles.
Hostess Chocodiles from Chauncey Chocodile. It takes a while to eat a Chocodile.
After originally being sold in stores across the US, Hostess Chocodiles were later available only on the West Coast. These snack cakes were a delicacy, chocolate-covered sponge cakes with a cream filling. Some have argued they were simply chocolate-covered Twinkies. Even a Hostess employee once confirmed that was the case. Yet others believed there was a noticeable difference in texture and moisture. Whatever the case, these things were the real deal. Look no further than Roger from American Dad.
Oh my God, how good are these?
Chocodiles had a good run too, debuting in the 1970s and lasting until the 2010s. Even if a company manages to produce something similar, good luck coming up with a name as good as Chocodiles.
So fans of the retro treat Twinkies have another reason to be excited this weekend because they're making their way back onto store shelves. They were apparently gone for almost a decade. Actually, we have some producers who stockpiled them.
Number 29, Squeeze-It. Unless you're in the United Kingdom, you can no longer get your hands on Squeeze-Its. And even then, these aren't 100% the same ones you knew and loved in North America.
You don't just drink a Squeeze-It, you squeeze a Squeeze-It.
That's a shame because these things are the very definition of childhood nostalgia. This fruit-flavored juice was made by General Mills and came in a unique plastic bottle that you had to squeeze to drink.
Check this out.
There's nothing really fancy about the juice itself, but the bottles were a fun novelty for kids, and the bright colors certainly drew eyeballs. Squeeze-It was a staple of the 80s and 90s, and it periodically appeared in stores throughout the early 21st century, but they haven't been around since 2012.
Go ahead, squeeze the fun out of it!
Number 28, Smucker's Snack and Waffles. Smucker's is a huge company, but not all of their products are home runs. Case in point, the very short-lived Snack and Waffles.
Brand new from Smucker's, it's the Smucker's Snack and Waffles.
These were your basic frozen waffles, only they came with pre-sweetened flavors like blueberry and maple, so that you didn't need to use syrup. The tagline told you all you needed to know. Ready to eat, already sweet.
There's a ton of chocolate chips in here, and it's like gooey chocolate chips.
They were first released in 2011, but discontinued just 1 year later owing to poor demand. Luckily, the nostalgic among you are in luck as a company called Arlington Valley Farms has taken on the mantle and released their own version of a Snack and Waffles. Number 27, Heinz Easy Squirt. Look, we love innovation as much as the next person, but come on, purple ketchup? What were they thinking?
Ingredients say Heinz tomato ketchup and then coloring.
Every kid who grew up in the early 2000s surely remembers Heinz Easy Squirt, which was basically just ketchup, but, green, purple, and a few other non-conventional ketchup colors. The condiment came in plastic bottles that were easy to squeeze, and the funky colors were a huge draw for children who didn't want to use boring old red ketchup. But like all novelties, the fun quickly wore off. That and countries were beginning to clamp down on foods with artificial dyes, which certainly did not help. The problems coalesced, and the ketchup was discontinued in 2006.
Heinz Easy Squirt. It's fun for your food.
Number 26, Starburst Hard Candy. Starburst is one of the biggest names in the candy biz, going strong since 1960 and drawing intense debate among fans. Are you a sweet pink person or a tangy yellow? Is red the greatest candy ever created, or do you throw them in the trash? All these questions and more were raised with the hard candy, which was basically just Starbursts, but, well, hard.
Try these. Starburst hard candy.
All the flavors were here, including a mysterious white one that some say tasted like pineapple, but may have been apple. Unfortunately, many people loved the soft, chewy texture of Starbursts, so the hard candy suffered and sales never sparked. It was quietly discontinued in the early 2000s.
Need a boost? Give it some juice.
Number 25, Sun Chips Sweet and Spicy Barbecue. Not every flavor can be a winner. Sun Chips were introduced back in 1991 and made big waves with their intense, powerful flavors, like French onion and the standard favorite Harvest Cheddar.
There's nothing quite like that delicious sun-drenched taste.
Back in 2013, Frito-Lay introduced a new flavor called Sweet and Spicy Barbecue that garnered a small but devoted fan base.
Amazing.
Unfortunately, it was a little too small, and the new flavor was eventually taken off store shelves by around the mid-2000s. It is now impossible to find, and the flavor has been removed from the official lineup on the Sun Chips website.
I love these chips, they're amazing.
Number 24, Nestle Treasures. One of the biggest conglomerates in the world, Nestle has certainly made its fair share of chocolate.
When you eat one, ignore everything else.
But not all of their products were winners, like Nestle Treasures, a fun little chocolate with a gooey center. These small candies came individually wrapped and contained a rich, viscous center with flavors like peanut butter, caramel, and coconut.
They're new, and they're definitely women's domain.
Unfortunately, the chocolate biz is just way too competitive, and delicious though they may have been, there was nothing inherently special or unique about Treasures. Alas, it was sadly discontinued, and is now but a nostalgic reminder of the late 1990s, early 2000s.
New Nestle Treasures.
Number 23, Ben & Jerry's Tennessee Mud. The 80s were wild. It was a time when unsupervised children rode rampant on their bikes and you could buy ice cream infused with booze.
You slip me a bottle of bourbon, a little glass, and some ice.
And this wasn't some niche brand either. This was Ben & Jerry's. Introduced in 1988, Tennessee Mud was a coffee ice cream with almonds, amaretto, and Jack Daniels. Unfortunately, the demand for Tennessee Mud was just not there, and it was discontinued after 1 year. It is now in the company's flavor graveyard, with the brilliant epitaph, "The bottle is empty, the cup and the glass. Mud with Jack Daniels was not meant to last."
Oh, right smooth. It's Tennessee whiskey.
Number 22, Dannon Sprinklins. It's amazing what some companies think of. Dannon is a yogurt giant. Kids like sprinkles in their yogurt. So Dannon thought, why not combine the two? That's how we got Dannon Sprinklins, which was just yogurt that came with a packet of sprinkles.
A surprise in every cup.
The sprinkles added a nice dash of color for kids, and they would eventually blend into the yogurt. Unfortunately, the little candies were not enough of a draw to entice potential buyers, and the product was discontinued in the early 2000s. Luckily, sprinkles still exist, so you can easily make this yourself at home.
Dannon Sprinklins, the only yogurt snack with a sprinkles pack.
Number 21, Fiery Habanero Doritos. While there are still Doritos flavors out there for spice lovers, none of them quite have the same profile as Fiery Habanero. These fittingly came in an orange bag, containing a long list of ingredients, including tomato powder, garlic powder, onion powder, and various cheeses to at least partially balance out the fiery heat.
Fiery Habanero Doritos.
These chips came out in the mid-2000s, but to many fans' displeasure, were discontinued just several years later. Black Pepper Jack Doritos were another 2000s fan favorite that many would like to see make a comeback, but the Fiery Habanero flavor gets the slight edge here for its boldness. Number 20, Choco Tacos.
The Choco Taco was invented in 1983 by Alan Drazen.
who recognized a sugary take on the taco would make for a delicious treat.
After satisfying sweet tooths for nearly 4 decades, the Choco Tacos time finally came to an end, to the dismay of many people who ever tasted this classic ice cream treat. A lot of us have fond memories of grabbing a Choco Taco from an ice cream truck on the street or in the park. Eventually, they became widely available in supermarkets and convenience stores as well.
Choco Taco fans are vocal about the decision on social media. They are also flooding the Klondike website with comments in protest.
But during the COVID-19 pandemic, Klondike had to make some tough decisions about the future of its portfolio, as demand for other products surged. Sadly, the Choco Taco was put on the chopping block in 2022. Still, we can't help but hope the iconic ice cream treat isn't gone forever, just taking a hiatus.
Almost immediately, hearts melted and stomachs growled when Klondike parent company Unilever announced production of the Philadelphia-born Jack and Jill ice cream treat, the Choco Taco, would be no more.
Number 19. Butterfinger BBs. For years, Bart Simpson warned us that nobody better lay a finger on his Butterfinger.
You won't mind if I take a bite of his crispity, crunchity peanut.
I told you, Homer. Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger.
But when it comes to Butterfinger BBs, no one's been able to lay a finger on them since 2006. Not even the Bartman himself. The candy, which is basically a little ball version of the chocolate bar, had a good run beginning in the early 90s.
New Butterfinger BB! Unbelievable, snackable balls of crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery Butterfinger!
But for some reason, we're not sure why, in 2006 they were done. 3 years later, they introduced Butterfinger Bites in an attempt to win back fans. And while some surely appreciated the new bite-size option, for others, they'll just never be as good as the BBs.
Math is easy. Let's say you have 15 Butterfinger BBs, and I take 5 of them. What do you have left? 1 less, sister.
Number 18. Pizza Spins. Pizza is one of the most popular foods in the world. And along with real pizza, folks have always had an affinity for pizza-flavored snack items as well. And that isn't just a modern-day thing either. This was also the case back in the 1960s and 70s when General Mills introduced their little wagon wheel-shaped bites of pizza deliciousness called Pizza Spins.
Pizza. They took this pizza taste and turned it into a crunchy, munchy, mouth-sized snack.
According to the General Mills website, they used tomatoes, Parmesan cheese, peppers, and pizza spices, quote, to give Pizza Spins an authentic Italian pizza taste. And it must have worked because although discontinued in 1975, people are still talking about them today.
Can humans resist pizza spins?
Number 17. Doodads. Who doesn't love a mixed snack bag? Well, from the 60s through the 90s, and maybe even into the 2000s, one such yummy combination involved toasted peanuts, pretzels, rice squares, wheat squares, and cheese tidbit crackers.
It's called a party mix.
Well, we call it doodad.
We always call them doodads around Christmas. We always make these and we give them as gifts.
Kind of sounds like Chex Mix, doesn't it? But it most definitely is not. It's doodads from Nabisco, and for decades it was a very popular snack mix. Then come the 90s and it wasn't as popular anymore, and doodads became boo-dads, because people who loved them were sad to see them go. Awful dad joke aside, if you want to see what all the fuss was about, you could try making your own doodads mix at home. Number 16. Pizzeria's Pizza Chips. While most of us probably associate the Keebler Elves with cookies, back in 1991, those cute little guys took some fresh pizza dough and cooked up the Pizzeria's Pizza Chips.
Come on down and taste something new. Right, Uncle Ernie? In your dreams. Pizza! Bizarric, man! Chips!
New pizzerias!
The chips made their debut with 3 flavors: cheese pizza, pizza supreme, and zesty pepperoni. And they were an instant hit. However, by the end of the decade, the Keebler Company had been sold and the pizzerias were discontinued.
Allow me, boys.
Pizzerias! Tastes like real pizza!
That hasn't stopped fans of the chips from trying to bring them back, though. As of the end of 2021, a couple of Bring Back Pizzeria's Chips Facebook groups were sporting over 7,000 followers. Number 15. Hershey's Kissables. Now, don't worry, Hershey's Kisses still exist and aren't going anywhere. No, here we're talking about Kissables, which, if you don't remember, were basically Hershey's Kisses with a candy coating. If you're thinking it sounds like a bigger kiss-shaped M&M and sounds delicious, It was, and it was.
Peaceable, blissable, laughable, visible, innable, laudable, eatable, treatable, colorful candy shell, colorful candy shell, chocolate inside.
So why did they go away in 2009, just 4 years after they launched? That's because in 2007, the Hershey Company made some cost-cutting moves that included replacing the cocoa butter with cheaper fats in some of their candies, including Kissables. People noticed, and they did not like it. Sales dropped, and that was the end of Kissables. Number 14, Hostess Choco Bliss. Take 2 layers of chocolate cake, sandwich a layer of chocolate cream in between, top it off with chocolate icing, and there you have the aptly named Choco Bliss.
Whoa, check that super chocolatey icing.
Awesome! Ooh!
Hey, whipped chocolatey cream inside.
Billed as a chocolate lover's dream, these Hostess snack cakes were a lunchbox favorite of many 80s kids. They sound like they'd be a favorite of ours today as well had they not been discontinued decades ago.
Choco Bliss, a dream come true. 1, 2, 3, I'm in ecstasy. New Choco Bliss from Hostess. Watch out.
We don't know why Hostess gave up on them, but we do know there are online forums filled with commenters lamenting the fact that they can no longer get their hands on this bliss from their childhood. Number 13, Oreo Sippers. As we make the move to try and save our planet, more and more countries are putting in place bans on plastics, most notably plastic bags and plastic straws.
2 of the largest recycling facilities in the US said its machines don't always catch straws. So they end up in the trash and eventually in landfills.
And while we wholeheartedly support such bans, we also don't always love the paper straws that some restaurants now use. But you know what's better than paper? Oreos. But you can't make a straw out of an Oreo. Yes, you can, and they did. They were called Oreo Sippers, and they were awesome, because not only were they a straw, but they were also delicious. Is there anything more eco-friendly than actually eating your utensil? Come on, Oreo, bring them back, for the sake of our planet. Number 12, Pringles Sticks. We all know that with Pringles chips, once you pop, you can't stop. But back in the 2000s and early 2010s, Pringles also gave us sticks.
New Pringles Sticks. They're crispy cracker sticks with a one-of-a-kind taste.
And once we had sticks, we couldn't quit. Okay, so maybe we need to work on our tagline game, but that does not take away from how good these sticks were, especially the honey butter and cheese flavored ones.
Crunchy. Whoa, this one's real good. I can taste the honey.
However, while the sticks had a loyal fan base, as Pringles posted on their Twitter account back in 2020, quote, Pringles sticks were discontinued in this sector of the universe due to lower demand. Number 11, Jello 123. If you aren't already jealous of kids who grew up in the 80s and 90s, here's one more reason to be. Or should we say 1, 2, and 3 more reasons. Jello 123 was a magical dessert that, like classic Jello, came in one packet. However, unlike the OG Jello, the 123 version would split into 3 layers during the 3-hour wait time.
What could compete with a dessert that actually forms 3 layers right before your eyes? A creamy layer, a fluffy layer, a layer of fruity gelatin.
While we can't speak to the taste, one of the problems with the product was that making it wasn't as easy as 123. Getting the 3 layers just right required a blender and the introduction of both boiling and cold water at precise speeds and times. Jello 123 was discontinued in 1996.
Something that your kids would absolutely love, easy to make, and you can also substitute your favorite sugar-free Jello gelatin product that you'd like.
Number 10, PB Crisps.
It began with a nut and a bolt that shook his top hat with a jolt. PB Crisp, an idea for a munch.
You just know a snack is missed when there are groups on multiple platforms asking for their return. PB Crisps were one such snack. A small graham that looked like a little peanut, but filled with huge flavor.
With graham cookie outside for crunch. Inside a center so sweet. Peanut butter cream. Oh, a treat.
That's because inside there was some delicious peanut butter filling, while PB&J Crisps added jelly, and chocolate crisps were filled with, you guessed it, chocolate. It was the combination of crispiness, sweetness, and nuttiness that made us crave PB Crisps back in the mid-90s. And we would do just about anything to have them back.
PB Crisp, PB Crisp, PB Crisp. The sweet taste that is destined for fame.
Number 9, Jello Pudding Pops.
Jello brand pudding pops, made with the goodness of real Jello.
Imitation may be the sincerest form of flattery, but nothing quite beats the real thing. This is a running thread for many of these snacks, such as Jello Pudding Pops, because it isn't as if frozen pudding on a stick has gone away. It's more that the trademarked brand and that trademarked taste is no more.
New rich, creamy-tasting Jello brand pudding pops. All the goodness of real Jello pudding frozen on...
Jello Pudding Pops were a summertime staple throughout the 1980s and beyond. A creamy and indulgent frozen treat. The OG Pudding Pops were lost after General Foods sold the name to Popsicle, which used their own flavoring and production methods. The good news is that you can technically make these at home if you buy the Jello molds, some milk, and a little bit of nostalgia.
Jello brand pudding pops. All the goodness of real Jello pudding made with milk, so you know it's wholesome.
Number 8. Peanut Butter Boppers.
Good old creamy peanut butter's gone boppers.
Trust us when we tell you that you have not lived unless you've had peanut butter boppers in your mouth. This crispy, creamy, and utterly delicious snack was almost sinful in its ridiculous indulgence. The snack was from the Nature Valley Company, which today is more closely associated with healthy-ish granola snacks. There was nothing remotely health-conscious about peanut butter boppers, however. Unless we're counting the protein in the peanut butter?
Peanut butter boppers. It's creamy peanut butter, a crispy coating, and a whole lot more.
Regardless, this creamy PB center was smooth and velvety in texture. A mouthfeel that clashed in the best way possible with those crispy crunchies on the outside. Seriously, someone find us some peanut butter boppers.
Peanut butter boppers. New from Nature Valley. What a snack.
Number 7. Flintstones Push-Up Pops. Push-Up Pops were around in the 80s and are still around today. But they were at their most popular and, according to many, their yummiest from 1990 to 1996, when they were branded as Flintstones Push-Up Pops.
Fred, Barney, Wilma, too! Make every bite more fun for you! Push-ups, Flintstones push-ups!
Something about that modern Stone Age family made pushing frozen treats out of a cardboard tube so much better and that much more yabba-dabba delicious. Flavors like Lime Rock Lime and Bedrock Berry were just as good as their puns.
It takes a dinosaur to bring you a taste this big. Fruity Flintstone sherbet and creamy cool vanilla.
And they even had a Pebbles push-ups line that added Nerds candies to the frozen goodness. Number 6. PB Max.
It don't stand for piggy banks, platinum blonde, pink baboon.
Let's face it, candy bars come and go, most without much fanfare. There are some serious calls for the return of the PB Max, however. A Mars candy creation that really was something else. The final form of PB Max wasn't just peanut butter and chocolate, but a delicious cookie topped with PB and then covered in sweet chocolate heaven.
PB means peanut butter, real peanut butter, lots of real peanut butter, in pure milk chocolate with the crunch of a whole grain cookie.
The most frustrating thing about the PB Max's demise is that it actually sold really well. However, the Mars family reportedly didn't like peanut butter, or money apparently, so they used this subjective opinion as a means for the PB Max axe. What a waste.
PB Max, we mean peanut butter.
Number 5. Cheetos Twisted.
It's geometry time. Ooh, snackometry time.
It may seem as if there's a new flavor of Cheetos available every week, so you'd be forgiven if you didn't notice that Cheetos Twisted no longer exist.
New Twisted Cheetos snacks.
These curly Q-shaped Cheeto snacks were thicker, meaning more of that finger-staining cheese dust to coat your fingers. They also arrived armed with that patented Cheetos Crunch, and were available from around 2002 to 2012, but all good things must eventually come to an end. The Cheetos folks discontinued their Twisted brand, but never fear because the company is bound to create something similar down the line.
Deliciously twisted, dangerously cheesy.
Number 4. Yo-Gos.
Kellogg's Yo-Gos just got hit with watermelon splash flavor! Part fruity flavor, part yogurty coating. New watermelon splash flavor Yo-Gos, worlds of fun!
Parents will often do just about anything to get their kids to eat healthy. But even the busiest folks have their limits. Yo-Gos weren't trying to masquerade as healthy fruit or yogurt, but instead were sugary, fruit-flavored snacks with a yogurt coating on top. They were an acquired taste, to say the least, but millennials were on that taste back when they were kids, as Yo-Gos seemed to be on top between 2005 and the beginning of the 2010s.
Logo on the Yo-Go.
Chewy, sweet, sour, and available in varieties of berry flavors, Yo-Gos were perhaps too unique for this world, and burned so bright that they could never be brought back.
Ah, what a blast! It's like new Go-Go Gorilla Mix. Seriously rough stuff.
Number 3. Philadelphia Cheesecake Snack Bars.
Ooh, Philly snack bars.
Hey, ever think to yourself, I've been good. Why shouldn't I have cheesecake for a snack?
Cheesecake. What? This is heaven.
No? It was just us? Yeah, well. We have no regrets about devouring this indulgent snack from the Philadelphia people. Small, snack-sized cheesecake squares available to eat any hour of the day. You want the graham cracker bottom? You get the graham cracker bottom. You want sweet icing and fruit laced over that thick cheesecake deliciousness? Shut the front door and eat these slices of heaven in private, because we guarantee you're gonna have a moment. We can only hope and pray that the next time we stroll by our grocer's freezer, this classic snack will be staring back at us.
Treat yourself to the rich and creamy cheesecake taste of Philadelphia snack bars.
Here you go, Fluffy.
They're a little taste of heaven.
Number 2, Hershey's Bites. The Hershey's Company has so many delicious snacks under their belt, it's easy to forget that there's also plenty of forgotten classics. Hershey's Swoops were one, but the penultimate spot on our list goes to the much-missed Hershey's Bites. No, not the candy bites, but this even crunchier and more snackable concoction that came in a variety of flavors.
Hey, look who just showed up! Introducing new Kit Kat and Heath Bites.
You get the feeling everyone is staring at us?
What? Is my bag open?
Rolos, Kit Kats, peppermint patties, and more were all shrunk down and packaged in a size that was perfectly geared for guzzling. Unfortunately, they posed a choking hazard for some, and most of the line was discontinued. However, Hershey's website does say that limited flavors can be purchased direct, but don't go scouring store shelves for this one. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Keebler Magic Middles.
An idea that will change the cookie world forever. Melted chocolatey middles in the cookies. Too late, we just did it. New Keebler Magic Middles.
If there were ever a snack cookie king, this was the one. The mighty Keebler elves truly outdid themselves when they magically concocted the recipe for the perfect treat.
Caught him smuggling melted chocolatey filling out of your factory. Pretty clever. He hid it inside this chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, you mean Keebler Magic Middles.
The shortbread wasn't too sweet and held its integrity against that chocolatey or peanut buttery flavor core that burst onto your taste buds with the force of a fudgy freight train. Oh, and if you warmed these bad boys in the microwave for a few seconds, absolute heaven. We're not sure if we can go all the way to the top of the Keebler elf hierarchy for some answers, but we are desperate for Magic Middles to be made available again.
New Magic Middles from Keebler.
Genius, pure genius.
Which of these snacks do you miss the most? Let us know in the comments below.
Try one.
Incredible.